Om Jananim Sharadam Devim Ramakrishnam Jagadgurum Padapadme Tayo Shritva Pranamami Murmuhu. The status of a monk. There are two types of yogis who are roaming about to get knowledge of the external things because their mind is restless. Restless mind runs here and there, and after gaining some amount of experiences that nothing exists outside, what is to be attained is within, then the mind calms down. Running about here and there of the mind subsides. It wants to attain. Lives after lives, we are running after this world because the self which appears in the creation at the beginning, now presently I have my past which is the cause of my present birth. What about the first when the jiva entered into, the soul entered into the creation? Infinite ocean, a drop suddenly becomes ice, and the ice feels, in ice nothing is there, the drop of ice, nothing is there except water. Still it feels distinct from the rest of the water because it is ice and water around. It too was water, and it was a feeling itself infinite, eternal, never to be affected. But by some reason, a small droplet has become ice, and it immediately sees itself distinct from others. There is no difference. It is difference. It is distinction without difference. The Jiva and Brahma, there is distinction but no difference. Just like water and ice. Water and ice, there is no difference. Water itself, except water, nothing is there in the ice. Still it feels itself different from the rest of the ocean. This causes it immediately, the moment it accepts, if it thinks, I know, I am water, immediately it dissolves. Which awareness acquires, oh, I become limited. Immediately it appears itself in the realm of time and space and causation, relativity. The moment it appears into relativity, just like you suddenly enter into dream state, sleep, dream state, you are talking now, in no time you enter into sleep. You enter into deep sleep, again wake up. Like that, this enters immediately into the relative existence. We are each time from Jagrat to Swapna, Swapna to Sushupti, waking, dreaming and deep sleep, we are passing through different states of our existence, unrelated to each other. We are in different dimensions with different identity. We are entering a different realm altogether. Dream world is entirely different from this physical world. Deep sleep is entirely. Every day we pass through these three states, Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti. The person who travels from Sushupti to waking, identifying with each body itself, is the self, real self. But it has a small limitation because of the karmic load. It is individual consciousness, universal consciousness, and absolute consciousness. Though there is no difference between consciousness and consciousness, it is akhanda, cannot be cut like space. Space is akhanda, It cannot be cut. But still we say pot space, room space, and external infinite space. Like that we tell. Now this, when it becomes small individual selves, all of a sudden, it wants to go back. It is lost empire. It wants to go back, expand itself into the ocean. So this struggle, this is consciousness. Consciousness always has three powers: Ichcha Shakti, Kriya Shakti, Jnana Shakti. And Ichcha Shakti is to become again that infinite. I want that infinite bliss, eternal existence. And Ichcha Shakti is there. Jnana Shakti is external jnana. And Kriya Shakti is there. It will immediately. It wants happiness, eternal happiness, but it is not finding, because it itself has become finite. How can it find out the infinite? It has to break down its finiteness, then it finds itself being infinite. It is not able to. The first thing, as soon as, just like a person falls in water, in a river, and catches whatever is available to save himself, like that, the moment this appears in the time, space and causation, relativity, appears in relativity, immediately it catches manashashtani indriyani prakristani. It holds mind and 5 sense organs. The moment it catches, the sense organ is externalized. They are not internalized. No senses depict your Atman. It is only external. And because of one by one layer projects, because of this external, the self is expressing, behind is the infinite ocean. It doesn't know. It is thinking itself so small and has got a hold of the three bodies. Now external, it wants the joy. It catches, immediately falls into the karmic load. Kriya Shakti is there, whatever it finds in the world, it thinks this will give me enjoyment, this will give me infinite enjoyment. It catches, but each time it catches, it sees it is dukkha only. So if we find the self expressing through 5 phases, one is physical body, then the pranic existence, another phase is senses, mind is another phase, another phase is the intellect, buddhi, manas, indriya, prana and sharira. Through 5 phases, Atman is the Panchamukhi, the 5 with 5 faces. Panchamukhi. Panchamukhi is 5 faces it has, Atman has got. It expresses through these 5. It's trying to catch hold of the world. So it gets exhausted, doesn't find. Finally, when it turns, the Panchamukhi will go away. It will become Chetomukha, Chetomukhi. Panchamukhi is externalized faces. Atmamukhi, it will become, the self will become turned inward, inward turning and approaching the self. Immediately you see that the moment it turns inward, this is Bhavamukha, this is Chetomukha. Chetomukha, now day after tomorrow is Shivaratri. The Shiva state is always Chetomukha. He is turned inward. He is experiencing his Atmananda always. He is experiencing the Brahmananda, the Absolute. It's facing the whole world is at its back. The moment a person turns inward, he becomes Shiva. Shiva is a state of existence. At cosmic level, we have Devata, a personal aspect of God. The inward face of the Lord of the universe will be Shiva, ever ready to attend to the call of anybody. This inward turned, Cheto Mukha, Chetas, Chetana, Chaitanya, Chaitanyabhimukha. When any jiva, any person, when he turns inward and sees Atman alone and enjoys Atmana Atmani in the self is enjoying itself in the self. Atma Rama. So when this Atma Rama sthiti comes, when the Cheto Mukha comes, when Eki Mukha it becomes, Panchamukhi will become Eko Ekimukhi Atma, then you see that it is Shiva. It is enjoying its own bliss, Ananda Swarupa. It is merging itself in itself. Bliss engulfed by bliss and floating in bliss. So this state is Shiva. Shivratri is coming. Each person has to identify with the real Shiva who is there within. We have two existences. One bodily existence, one is our spiritual existence. The spiritual existence is always turned inward. The bodily existence is always turned outward. It is constantly looking at the world. The inward is looking at within. And they are like the gong we beat, bell, tintin, cymbals. When they are like this, you see. They are turned in outward. They are tied by a string. When you hold it, string alone if you are holding, then you see two halves are turning outside. This will be like, this is the karmic bondage between the two, the bodily existence and spiritual existence. They are tied by the chain of karma, karmic load. And this has bodily existence, and the Chaitanya is bound to the three bodies, one after another, pervading each other. They are pervading. This Annamaya, this Sthula Sharira, Sukshma Sharira and Karana Sharira are pervading each other. They are not separate layers. They are layers pervading each other. Like a glass is there, I am putting light. Light is pervading the glass. Space is pervading the matter always. Like that, gross is pervaded by subtle, subtle is pervaded by causal. They are one over the other, pervading each other, not one over the other like cover. So we are going from gross to the subtle, subtle to the causal within itself. Every grain of it has these three layers. Just like a chalk you have put in water and take it out, water is pervading the chalk. Pervasion. So these three bodies are pervading and this is holding. And these three bodies, it is gross, subtle and causal, because I have to enter into different state of consciousness when I sleep. Waking state, one state of consciousness. In dream state, I am another consciousness. And then in deep sleep, I have another consciousness. Consciousness is decreasing and increasing. And in Samadhi sthiti, it moves towards infinite. In deep sleep, it moves towards zero. Zero to infinite like a funnel. I am going back and finally coming out of the last door I see infinite. Every day sleeping. Again I shrink because of the karma, I expand. And can I expand beyond the waking? Yes, it is superconscious state, the Samadhi sthiti. So this Cheto Mukha, when these two, this is always turning inward. The spiritual existence is turning inward. inward. The bodily existence is towards the world. It's constantly observing the world. And they are tied together. And this tying is threefold, because this is threefold: gross, subtle and causal. The three bonds between the Chaitanya and gross is called Brahma Granthi. Gross is Chaitanya and subtle. Chaitanya is one. Chaitanya and the subtle is called Vishnu Granthi. And between the Chaitanya and the causal body, it's called Rudra Granthi. The three bonds have to break. In Shiva, you see there are no bonds at all. He has the three layers of existence, cosmic level: Virat, Hiranyagarbha and Ishvara. He'll be in Ishvara Sthiti with face turned inward. And Vishnu, the same consciousness turned outward, becomes Vishnu. It is looking at the world, and leaning over the Chaitanya. Over the Chaitanya, it is leaning. It is leaning on the Chaitanya and looking at the infinite. Behind, it is merging itself from behind in the infinite and managing the whole universe, pervading it, the universal consciousness. This is Ishvara. Ishvara. And this state of existence is called Vishnu. Parameshvara, while creating, is called Brahma. Same Parameshvara. Vyakti is same. Different activities, different name. Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshvara are different. Now, Shivaratri is coming. We are seeing the Lord of the universe turned inward and enjoying his own glory. Just like we have two: spiritual existence and bodily existence. At cosmic level also, there is spiritual existence and bodily existence. The bodily existence is called Virat. Spiritual existence is called Ishvara. And it is turned inward, then we call it Shiva. And when it is turned out, the face that is turned inward we call Shiva. Face that is turned outward and managing the whole universe, we call Vishnu. Vishnu is Bhava Mukha. Shiva is Cheto Mukha. Atma, he is looking into the Atman and leaning over the world. Shiva. And Vishnu is leaning over the absolute Parabrahma and looking at the whole universe and managing it. Vishnu and Shiva are the opposite faces of the same one and the same reality, the Parameshvara. So, day after tomorrow, when we are doing Shivaratri, we have to slowly understand what is my Chaitanyik existence. How can I turn inward and attain that state of Shiva with unending eternal bliss? How can I reach that Ananda Sagara, Sachidananda Sagara, which is within me? I need not go out anywhere to acquire it. It is within me. I have to turn inward and experience that. Because another thing is to become one with it. Becoming one with it, it becomes Nirvikalpa. Without becoming one, if you experience the internal turning inward and transcending the body, mind complex, then it is Savikalpa. You have got senses and intellect with which you will experience the Savikalpa. And leaving that, when they also merge in the self, then we will have Nirvikalpa. There is one without a second, no duality. In Savikalpa there is duality. When you turn outward, you are passing through only three states of existence. That is Jagra, Swapna, Sushupti. Beyond you want to go, then you have to turn inward. You must take up the Shivahood, awaken the Shivahood within you. That's why the Shiva state begins beyond bodily existence, from Vijnanamaya Kosha. Because body has duality. Man, womanhood are there. Mind has duality. It is able to perceive inner, outer and all that. Gross, subtle and causal, all layers belong to Prakriti. They have duality. And here we see the Shiva. You are in individual existence, you experience the Shivahood after entering the Chaitanic range of my individual existence. The Chaitanya can be felt from Vijnanamaya Kosha. Manomaya Kosha, if you come, you cannot experience Chaitanya. Because Chaitanya is pervading and backing the senses and mind. We are leaving the Chaitanya. Chaitanya is able to experience Chaitanya only when it goes to Vijnanamaya, enters into Vijnanamaya Kosha in Samadhi Sthiti, that is in meditation. In meditation, when you go, first experience yours should be you are experiencing the Chaitanya, your own. Shivahood begins there. I am experiencing my own Chaitanya. Shivahood begins in the Vijnanamaya Kosha. When you turn inward, start going inward, one by one layer you are crossing. Annamaya you crossed, you Vijnanamaya, Pranamaya you crossed, then Manomaya you crossed, 3 layers you crossed, you are entered into the 4th one, you start experiencing your Shivahood. You have become the Atma. Chaitanya is experiencing Chaitanya. First experience of the Chaitanya comes only in Vijnanamaya Kosha when you enter. The moment you experience Chaitanya, you are the Shivahood has begun. And when you reach the self, crossing 2 more, Vijnanamaya and Anandamaya, you are Purna Shiva. Shivoham, Shivoham. Shivoham, Shivoham is after I cross all the external sheets, Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya, Anandamaya, when I cross, I am myself a Shiva, totally Shiva. I am one with the Chaitanya. So Shivaratri day, most important part is to remember my Atmanhood, struggling to reach that Atman. Who am I? What am I? How can I reach that? How can I transcend this whole nature, this Prakriti, which is, I am imprisoned in Prakriti. I cannot do anything according to my will. The Sukha, Dukkha, all the places have to be born, places have to live. When I was leaving the mud for the final to go to Tapasya, one of the senior most Swamis came and met and blessed in various ways. Finally he told, each person is taken to a particular place because his karmas are taking him there. We are reaching a particular place because our karmas are such that it can be exhausted only there. So don't think your jnana, buddhi jnana is taking you. Your karma is taking you. Take shelter in your God and Guru. Now we are no more with you. You are alone in the world. So you have to total unconditional surrender to Guru and Ishtadevata. They are the only companions. And once you are able to hold on to these two entities, which are one with the divine. When you are able to hold on to your Ishtadevata and your Guru, then you see the Divine Mother, the nature which pervades everything, every jiva, and sustains the life principle. That Shakti, the Divine Mother, will see that you are safe and your journey is safe. This is an important instruction, the Divine Mother, to participate in your life. Who is governing, who has become the universe herself and is maintaining it as nature. Everything is driven by nature. So that as nature she is pervading and governing it. She becomes immediately, because you are holding on to the divine, immediately she becomes real mother to take care of you, holding you in the arms and taking you. You are safe. The moment you are holding on to your Ishtadevata and your Gurudev, then you are safe, totally safe. Divine Mother immediately participate when we loosen our grip on God and Guru. Immediately you see Divine Mother is there, fully taking care of you and protecting you and your path to perfection. The path is to be enlightened. It is lightening. Somebody has to lighten my path. We are blind to the path. We don't have illumination. Somebody must light the Guru shows the torch always. And it is possible for me to observe when I open my eyes. Guru is throwing the light on the path, but I have closed my eyes. What is closing? My desires and ego. My desires and ego closed my eyes. I have worldly desires, something known or unknown, and my ego. The moment ego comes, I am not able to see the path lighted by Guru. He is keeping the torch all the time, standing there. You can't see. If you have eyes also, if light is not there, you can't see. If light is there, if you close your eyes, you can't see. So here you see that the Divine Mother is lighting your and giving you intuitive understanding how to see it. Because you are holding on to the Divine. You are holding on to the Divine. The moment she has to do, it is her part. So she becomes favorable, she guides, she intuits, she keeps the light. One thing is, you must be constantly aware of the goal that you have to reach. Goal should not be forgotten. In Bengal, almost all buses will carry on writing. Kokhono bhuliyo na. Don't forget any time. Two things. Ishwar or Mrityu. Don't forget two things. Death and God. Then you safely reach. Everything ends with death. Whatever your glory, whatever you are holding on to, everything will end there with death. And how it comes, when it comes, nobody knows. Suddenly it will appear. So don't forget these two. So here in our life, don't forget the goal. And goal also is illumined by the Divine Mother. Otherwise, every moment, everything in the world makes you forget where you have to go, where you have taken the journey. Every activity that you are doing, every day-to-day activity, the day-to-day people, day-to-day duties of your life, everything will make you forget your goal unless you are watchful. Of course, unguarded moments we may forget. But in spite of guarding, if you fail to remember, it is pramada, which has to be corrected. We have to correct ourselves. Om Niranjanam Nityamanantarupam Bhaktanukampa Dhritavigraham Vai Ishavataram Parameshamidhyam Tam Ramakrishnam Shirasa Namamaha.